This session will focus on the meaning and the relevance of reducing skill obsolescence, identifying in-demand skill sets, skills that may have become obsolete over the past few years. Through today's freewheeling conversation, we'll try to understand how Kellogg bridged the gap through its digital marketing program in partnership with upGrad for Business.
What is very important for organizations like Kellogg's is that you're able to build that capability across, not just in one or two individuals in the system, but across. So it's not an expertise function within the team. And that was the brief that I and Delnaz had, and then we went to upGrad and the team there really built it beautifully for us. On how do you move up the capability when it comes to digital marketing? And it's a big word, combines many things, and we might talk about it a little later in detail. But how do you build everybody to a certain level so that it becomes the way they market, the way they think of their consumers, and the medium of digital becomes a natural backhand for all of them? That was the crux of the work that we wanted to do with us.
Let me rewind a little bit and explain to you the ethos of the Masterstroke journey, Pallavi. This vision came alive for us over a 3-year capability building plan. What we wanted to do is we wanted to create a bespoke program for our learners. Creating a customized learning program was very important to inspire our learners, making the program aspirational in stature. And this necessitated that whichever learning partner we chose not only had the necessary infrastructure, but also the necessary gray cells to create this bespoke program with us. We took our time to scout the market, looking at different proposals from various vendors before we zeroed in on naturally the best-in-class learning partner that we found. Yeah. For the digital and e-commerce module of Masterstroke, upGrad came to the table as an edtech platform with great skill building experience, some wonderful referrals, as well as many recognitions that they have notched up in the education technology space. When we tied up with the upGrad team, our ask from them was very clear. We needed to design a program for Kellogg in the Kellogg way, and the team has beautifully made it happen for us in the Masterstroke journey. So they were the obvious choice.
I would like to definitely appreciate and applause the thoughts that Sumit had even before we started this partnership. Like Delnaz so beautifully articulated, it was the core ethos that Kellogg already had. It was the way that they were very clear in what they wanted for their workforce, how they wanted the importance of digital, that really made it a wonderful journey for us. For me, and for our team at upGrad for Business and upGrad Work Better, it always starts with what is the company trying to do? What is it that the customer wants to do? And we build everything as an ecosystem around that. I would say one of the core focus area at Kellogg is on building talent capability, and they're doing so by adding capabilities ahead of the curve in the business relevant scenario, whether it is the in-demand skills that we spoke about or the skills obsolescence that we spoke about. The rationale behind developing digital marketing capabilities is that we view it as one of the key enablers towards building a fit to win organization. The commercial Masterstroke program journey that Delnaz alluded to for us collectively began with identification of the opportunity for development in activating digital IQ for marketing and the e-commerce teams. In an internal competency assessment that we learned from Kellogg, the digital gap was highlighted and it got converted to the need of the hour, especially during this time when Kellogg is scaling up its business and multiplying itself. So we collaborated with the HR partners and our SMEs from the functional teams to design and launch this Masterstroke 2.0. It was focused on building digital natives at Kellogg India, the learning intervention, upskill the learners in the areas of digital marketing, new age marketing skills with a do versus listen mix. And this was important. Do as in learn and listen as in start thinking about how to apply this along with experimental learning pedagogy. And this needed a commitment of about 2 to 3 hours per week. This 6-month-long learning journey designed for the new age digital marketers was filled with case studies, problem-solving workshops, and is backed by 150 plus years of collective industry learning experience that upGrad brought to the table. We also tried to bring in an outside-in learning and ideology into this program pedagogy, and which Delnaz has touched upon, so I won't go deeper into that. Towards the end of this program, Pallavi, what we are really thrilled is the engagement levels that we saw across the tenure. The learning and the growth index of the learner population, if I'm not mistaken, improved by about 14 to 15% year on year. And that to me is one of the testaments of what happens when there is so much of an alignment, understanding, and trust in a program of this magnitude.
The standard way to measure how learners have taken away learnings and how they're going to apply on them is the learner feedback. And compared to industry average, Pallavi, we've got top quartile learner feedback scores of 4.4 plus on a scale of 1 to 5 for this program, sustained throughout the 6-month learning journey, right? So that's one of the big wins that we have, and a big thumbs up from the learner population itself. Like Minaxi mentioned, the fact that the growth and learning index that our population experienced through our engagement survey, which happens annually, really shot up by 10 plus points, is also a big testimony to the success of the program. Apart from this, the real crux is how do people actually grow in their careers using the learnings implemented through the program. And very happy to share that India as a team, the India commercial team, marketing and commercial team, has emerged as a talent hub for our region across the Kellogg world, right? We've had, during the course of this capability journey, 30% of the team experiencing role enhancements as well as promotions, and 20% of the team getting opportunities for international moves, right? And this is testimony to the fact that applied learning through the learning program is helping people move ahead in their careers.
One of the things that really worked for them was the dynamism with which the upGrad team, and it's kudos to the upGrad team and also to the faculty, to be honest, is the dynamism with which they were taking feedback and making changes. Because when you go through a long program, right, and this is a program that went almost through the year, there'll be times when things will resonate very well. There'll also be times when you will realize that this can be done better, etc. But what is very important in this process is to really make changes, make those mid-course corrections. And that's why the kind of feedback that Delnaz talked about, right? That happens when you make those changes earlier than later. And it is not about between one module to the other. It's also between the module, right? Between morning and evening. And I saw those changes happening. And that is why the momentum remained through the program. It was very engaging. I loved it. By the way, I attended right up front. I think it's important because I'm probably the worst amongst everyone, but I learned. So I'm good now. But I think that, I believe, massive impact. And just to give you an example, right, last but not the least, I just came back from our regional leadership conference that happened last week. And Kellogg India won the e-commerce excellence award. And e-commerce, by the way, was one of the things we were learning as part of Masterstroke.
But first off, many congratulations, Sumit. Having worked with you firsthand is absolutely not surprising. Kudos to you and your team for this wonderful acknowledgement and appreciation from your extended teams. So Pallavi, this partnership was in our mind a great example of a true collaboration and partnership, and that's primarily thanks to Sumit and Delnaz. I'd like to share 2 key takeaways, if that's all right with you. The first one of that is going to be the engagement by the leadership team, whether it was the attention to detail from Sumit and each element of the program, or the deep focus from Delnaz. Like after a point in time, it almost became a fact that Delnaz was a part of our core team when we were ideating, building the curriculum, driving those outcomes, brainstorming about it. And that's wonderful because it helped us as upGrad to also bring our best to this engagement. It is very symbolic and it's very symbiotic in terms of each partner helping each other get better. So that was the first. The second one I would say is the robust governance model, and there are 3 tiers to it. So whether it is the strategic reviews that we had, which was more about what's the goal of this program, where we are, what are we hoping to achieve out of it, or the operational review, which was had a lot of elements of SMEs and faculties on how the curriculum is, where are we going, what are the learners feeling. So it was more operational in that extent. Last but not the least, the core of it, which is the learners who are undergoing this journey. So whether it was nudges for them, seeing how they are performing, are they facing certain issues, what can we do to circumvent those? Because of this robust governance model, we were able to pick up issues before these arose most of the time. This also included the feedback mechanism that Sumit spoke about. These interactions enabled us with enough and more opportunities to reflect on what's working, what's not working, and it enhanced our ability to tweak these things as we went about. So I would say these are the 2 key takeaways from building a enterprise-wide offering the way that we did with Kellogg, with support from Sumit and Delnaz.
It was great listening to all three of you. Thank you, Sumit, Delnaz, Minaxi, for being part of this and sharing your experiences, your insights on the panel.